So I recently checked out this NextJS course just to familiarize myself with all the latest stuff in there. My first time playing around with the React server components is quite interesting. Very well done course. I really enjoyed going through the step by step. In the end, you end up with something like this, where you can go and create invoices. You can go page through it, all that sort of stuff. Very well done. It's also a great launching pad to get the basics in there, see how it plays together, and then start adding on the extra concepts that you would like to use in your app. Now, in particular, I'm very interested in using Prisma. It's an ORM that I've used on other projects, quite enjoyed, and the course actually points you to that. So let me just show you. You followed along and you've built a bunch of these queries using Vercel's SQL library. Pretty cool. You can execute that and you have to go and define your own types, which they did in definitions.ts. As you know, following along in this course also steps you through setting up a Postgres database in your Vercel dashboard. When setting this up, it also generated an env file that you can add to your project. And inside of that env file, it's already got environment variables that you can use with Prisma. Let's head on over to settings, environment variables. So this is what I'm talking about. You've already got a Postgres Prisma URL. So we're in a very good position to jump in here and just add Prisma to this project. Get rid of those custom defined types in definition.ts and rather use the types generated by Prisma. That's nice because you've got your schema, which either was pre-existing. That's what we're going to use. We're going to generate our schema from the DB that we've already got. And as you go along, you go and create migrations on your DB and your types are kept in sync with that, and it flows right into your app all the way into the front end. So that's pretty cool. So what we want to do is we want to follow along with Prisma's instructions on adding Prisma to an existing project, because we've already followed along with the course. We've set up a DB. We've got some data in there. We're all good. Let's add it on. I really like that they give you the option to start from scratch from the docs or add it to an existing project, because to be honest, mostly when I've reached for an ORM, an existing code base, I was frustrated by the low level stuff and then I want to go and pull it in. So let's see what they say here. Okay, so we need to go and do this. Okay, so let's just add that to our project. Got a new terminal in here. npm install Prisma, save Dave. Should be relatively quick. Okay, so that installed. Now we need to go and run npx Prisma init. Okay, so this is pretty cool. It tells us exactly what we need to do. It already found a database URL in its env. You already have a get ignore files. That's pretty cool. And then it says that we need to go and set the database URL in the env file. Point to the DB. We're going to do that. Set the provider. Cool. We're going to do that. Do a Prisma DB pull. Sure. Okay. Let's step through it bit by bit. Let's do all of these little things. So you can see that we've now got this Prisma folder with schema Prisma in there. Pretty bare bones. Doesn't know anything about our DB at the moment. We need to go and change this to what we have in our Vercel env file. I've also got it locally. I don't want to show it because then I need to go and edit it out so you can't see all my details. But this is the one we want to go and use. Copy that, and then we go and just say, sure, let's use this. We're already using the correct provider, so that's cool. So we've done step 1, step 2. Now we're going to run Prisma DB pull. So I'm just going to clear this out. Prisma DB pull. Let's see. So it should use that connection string that it's getting from my env, talk to the DB, and then generate the schema for us. All right. So it introspected 4 models and wrote them into schema Prisma. Let's just have a look at this. Cool. We have customers, invoices, revenue, and users. Now, those are my preferred model names that I want to use throughout my app because I think the plural nature there will be a bit confusing. Prisma actually guides you towards using singular on tables. I'm also not too happy about that. Mostly I've worked on plural conventions on the tables in my DB. So I'm going to keep it like that. And then I'm going to show you how to change these model names and map them correctly onto your DB. So let's do that. How do you go and tell Prisma that you want a different table name and different types? I'm just going to change this to customer, singular. And then all you need to do is use this special syntax where you can say at map to customers. And we're basically just going to do this for each of our models. Copy paste that. And then we're just going to say invoices already singular on the DB. Right. And I want user at map to users. Okay, cool. So now we've edited our schema so that we've got model names that we actually like, and we have mapped it correctly to our tables, I hope. Next part is generating the Prisma client. So there's 2 parts to Prisma. Got your schema, this file. So in your source control, this is also where when you run migrations and all that sort of stuff, gets checked into source control. And then there's another bit. It's a bit weird for me. I'm not sure exactly why they did it like this, but you have to run a command that goes and adds the actual TypeScript definitions that you're going to use through the Prisma client into a node module. So let's run that command. So we run npx Prisma generate. Can type correctly. Okay, dokies. So said it's generated the client to see what I mean there, node modules and Prisma client. So that's what we're going to import into our code as you see here. So I just love how these, both Next.js and Prisma just makes the DX so great by making it easy for us to follow it step by step. I don't even need to go and open up the docs the whole time. And then I can just get going. Okay, cool. So next step for us is to go and use this, I guess. So let's go in here where we've got our other existing queries. I'm just importing the Prisma client from that generated location, and I'm constructing it. Coolio. So this is pretty safe. I don't think this gives us exceptions or anything. So it's safe. I'm putting it on this root level in this module. All the exceptions that I've seen dealing with Prisma happens when you actually try and use it. So that's cool. This is an easy one. The revenue call, because we're not doing anything fancy on that query. It's just a select all. So let's focus on that. Change it to use Prisma and then get it all the way into our components. So yeah, I just want to get rid of this timeout thing here that we did during the course just to add a bit of a superficial delay. So we're going to say Prisma.revenue.find many. And then because we don't want to add any filters or any sorting or anything, that's it, right? Now, I'm just going to get rid of all the stuff that we did in the course to go and wrap it in errors and all that sort of stuff, just so it's a bit cleaner. And then we can actually just do this. That's pretty cool, pretty simple. You can see how nice it is to use that ORM. So remember, we've still got revenue in here somewhere. See, there it is. It says month, string, revenue, number. Now, this type that it returns here is what we generated using Prisma. It should have the same properties. And in TypeScript, because it's duck type, meaning you can use two different type definitions. And as long as they match enough, TypeScript's happy, we should be fine. So I think let's run this bad boy. npm run dev. Open that. It's going to reload this. Hopefully that works. Okay, that was too easy, wasn't it? Maybe we should do a console login here. Just go and make sure that we've actually hit this. Cool. Using Prisma to get revenue. Okay. And I'm also going to move this terminal up because my face is in the way. Next time I'll put it in a different part of the screen. Okay, so you can see just saving that out, all our hot reloading kicked in, and we've got this being logged out. So I think it's pretty safe to assume that this worked correctly. Let's get rid of this console log. What I want to do now is I want to start whittling away at these definitions that we've got in here. So let's just find revenue in here. Okay. So this should break, right? Because we're importing this type from other places. So I'm just going to look at my problems in here. Okay. So you can see in our utils, we're importing revenue here from definitions. So I'm just going to say, let's remove that. Let the IDE sort all of that out. Okay, so we're just going to go to this definition, show what's in there. So you can see if I just hover over this, we're node modules.prisma/client index DTS. Wow, this is pretty complicated. Revenue payload, object scalars, get payload result. So I wonder if we just go and play around with that, if we can see how this is being used. Okay, so let's see where we use this. Okay, so let's see where we use this. Okay, so we used it there. And then revenue. As you can see, still happy with the revenue map. Still got the month on there. That's all cool. All right, so we split out that one. You know what I'm going to do? I just want to go and in a new terminal, just run an npm run build so we can see what happens here. Okay, so we didn't reference that anywhere in our components. This should be fine. Well, this running build actually brings up an interesting point because if we want to go and check out the package JSON, remember we have to run that generate client thingy-majiggy. And if you're pushing all this code up, your Prisma schema will be there, but that special file that we generated that ends up in your node modules won't be in production. So what I've done is I've just done a pre-build in my package JSON, and then I do an npm run Prisma generate. Okay. So this will make sure that that gets generated when we push this code up to production. So that will just make sure that before build runs, and remember when we deploy to Vercel, it runs build to go and package up our whole app. It will just make sure that this is also available for us. Alrighty. So that was a pretty lame usage, I think. I mean, nice that it's so simple to get started with and all that sort of stuff. But maybe we should just add one last case here, because I see we've got this latest invoice raw here and it limits to 5 and it's joining customers and all that sort of stuff. So maybe we should just have a look there, see what the effect is if we change this query over to Prisma and see how we use those in our components. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to say const data equals. Yeah, we want to do it with Prisma, but we want to do it on invoice. Okay. We want to define many. We ordered by invoice date in the previous query. So let's do an order by, and I think it's something like date. Okay, thanks AI for helping me there. And then, cool, what do we want to do next? The limit we do by say take 5. Okay. We also want to join customers on here. So that's a relation. I'll show you how that works pretty soon. But for now, let's do an include customer. And we don't want everything in here. We want to go and say select true. Because if you look at the query that we've got here, it's customers domain, image URL, email. So let's do that and say name, email, true. We want image URL, true. Okay. All right. So why is it not happy with this include of ours? Should work, but I think it's something that went wonky when our schema was set up. Let's go and have a look at that. Okie dokie. So we need to go on to invoice and say it's got a customer. Okay. And its type is customer. It's a relation. And its fields that it's mapped by from this table is customer ID. We can also say that it references this table, and we can also say that it references this table on ID. Cool. So we've now said, hey, invoice model, you've got a customer field. It's a type customer. It's a relation. You map to that table with this customer ID. That relation can get to its invoices by this ID. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I hope that works. Let's go back into data. I almost think we need to regenerate. So let's go have a look at what we put in here because I can't remember the command. You know what? I think I actually added the wrong command into my pre-build. So I'm just going to quickly check the docs. So it's just npx Prisma generate. It doesn't have a colon in it. Don't know where I got that. npx run Prisma generate. Okay, so from the docs, it seems like the command is this npx Prisma generate. Error validating field in customer and model invoice. Duration field customer and model invoice is missing an opposite relational field on the model customer. Ooh, either run Prisma format or add it. So can I try that? Prisma format? Let's go and have a look. What did that do? Oh yeah. Seems like it added the thing on there for me. Okay. So let's run npx Prisma generate again. No, it's happy. Cool. That's pretty cool, eh? Okay, so let's have a look at our data. This might just be IDE that needs to catch up. That's what I don't like about that thing being in node modules. It's so weird, the Prisma client and the types and stuff in there. Bold, but before that I need to update this. Make sure that it's actually broken. Sorry, npx Prisma generate. Complaining about our actual code with the bold. Okay, so it seems like just running that bold at least made my IDE find those modules and reload all the symbols and all that sort of stuff. So, cool. We've got data, and then we don't have rows anymore because we're using the REM. And I'm just going to leave it like that. And then let's see if this works. Clearly not. So I'm going to leave it like that. Then what I want to go and do, sorry. Okay, and what I want to go and do is just restart this process. I'm going to put your URL here. Now, I expect it to be broken. Yes. And why is that? So when we go into our components, that component is latest invoices. We'll see that obviously the structures change. So what we did previously, we loaded everything in one query with columns onto a custom type. Now we're just working directly with the types that Prisma generated for us. And we need to traverse this relationship to get to those. Let's just do that. Doesn't look too bad. I'm saving that up. Should there. Okay. So very simple query, no relations, and one query with a relation. But the important bit that I wanted to show you here is just how easy it is to add Prisma to this project, how to get those types flowing from Prisma generated types all the way into your front end. Hope that was useful. I might follow up with some more advanced Prisma concepts like filtering on relations and all that sort of stuff. I think that's good enough for now.